should be a really good game between Ajax and Chelsea on match day 3 of the UEFA Champions League over in Group H. Frank Lampard coming up against a side who are known for their youth development. He's not doing such a bad job of it himself at the moment at Chelsea in the first team. Won the last 3 in the Premier League, but this is how the table stands. Craig, do you think that Chelsea have enough to go to Amsterdam and win?
Yeah, I do actually. I do think I think most thought it was going to be quite clear between Ajax and Chelsea, but the Valencia win at Stamford Bridge is certainly thrown them into the mix. If they were to get the victory against Lille, then that certainly is going to pitch them in it. But I think in terms of those two teams, they're both kind of evenly matched. Although I think a lot of people thought, in some ways, a lot of people thought both, maybe myself included, thought both teams were going to unravel a little bit with the problems they had at the end of last season. De Ligt and De Jong, the two best players left for Juventus and Barcelona respectively. Chelsea lost their best player in Eden Hazard, had a transfer ban, lost the manager to Juventus and brought in a manager with 1 year's experience in Frank Lampard, albeit a former player, but that doesn't really mean anything. And actually, whilst I've not always got the results, I'm talking about Chelsea, I've been quite impressed with the way they've played and the way they've handled it. As for Ajax, I was looking there, they haven't lost since that defeat to Spurs that knocked them out of the Champions League. They've had a couple of draws, but they're in great form as well. They've got some, you mentioned it, they're still churning through some younger players, as are Chelsea now, and they're getting an opportunity. So I actually think this is a very exciting match. I think it is going to be an exciting match to watch. I think Chelsea are strong enough to go there and win, but obviously Ajax are strong enough to win as well. I think it's a pretty close contest.
It's a really good opportunity for the young players of Chelsea to pit themselves against some of Europe's best as well. Yeah. They won't be overawed in going there. Do you think he'll have a plan to really have a go at Ajax?
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's the way he's going to go. But I think it's clear it's the way Lampard's going to go about the job. We're not going to be scared. We're going to have a go at teams. We're going to try and do it our way, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, Mason Mount's already shown that he's not in awe of playing in the Premier League, and he's a guy who played for 12 months in the Championship, and there's a big step up to go and be one of the main attacking guys in Chelsea's pursuit of top 4 in the Premier League, which is what it is. Then you have Hudson-Odoi getting fit again, and we know he's a very good player because we've seen it, and Bayern Munich have seen it, they wanted him. We know Willian's playing better again and looking kind of like his old self. Pulisic has been a bit of a problem for him that has upset quite a few this side of the pond, but he's just going to have to be patient. And there are others in there that have performed well Tammy Abraham's his goal-scoring feat at the start of the season so far. It might be difficult to keep that up, Ross, but he's surpassed where I thought he could go early in the season, coming from spearheading Aston Villa's attempt to get back in the Premier League and spearheading Chelsea, keeping Giroud out of the team, which isn't maybe the biggest badge on his arm, but it's still keeping an experienced player out. So all in all, I think whilst they've not always got results, I think there's a clear plan. We talk about teams like Arsenal and that at the moment in a different, what's the plan for Unai Emery, and what's Pochettino doing at the moment? He seems to have lost his way a little bit. Whilst Chelsea might not have the greatest season, there is a plan in what he wants to do. There is a way in which he wants to play, and I think come rain or sunshine, that's the way Frank Lampard's going to do it.
Okay, it seems quite an open group. I know that Ajax have won their first 2 games as well.
Yeah.
They've got a really good result against Valencia, who of course Chelsea lost to. But can you see Chelsea going through with Ajax, or can you see Valencia maybe upsetting one of those two?
They've got potential to upset them. They didn't have the greatest start in La Liga. They've picked up recently. I think last time I looked, they were around 6th or 7th. I think this is a good group for both Ajax and Chelsea. Bearing in mind the problems Chelsea have had in the summer with the transfer ban, I felt if they'd pulled out a tough group, they would have struggled. But I think this is a good group for both of these teams, and I think if they're professional about it and don't make any silly errors like Chelsea did at home against Valencia, if they cut that out, I think both will go through. But I get the feeling Ajax might go through as the number 1 seed in the top.
Okay, so it's round 1 of the double header. Can't wait for it. It might be a little more important for Chelsea than Ajax in terms of the points or not getting beaten in Amsterdam, but it's certainly the battle of the youth of Europe.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPNFC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.